What can I do for you, my friend? I'm actually in the middle of, I'm getting ready to start a Zoom call. So I wanted to, no, that's okay. That's okay. Is something going on at the house you need my help with? You ready to rock and roll? You got the lender in place, or do we need to set that up? Yeah. You, you said you felt like you weren't getting the same kind of love. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's a challenge that we have to deal with. So okay, so let's do this. I want to go ahead and I'll send you over the contract. Let me wrap up my meeting. I'm in a meeting for another hour or so. Okay. Yeah. That's good. That's good to know. Hey, check this out. Can you send me over your lender's information? Because I'm gonna need to contact him directly and get the documents and forms over to him. He'll know it's legit, and I can deal directly with them. If we need to hire a closing agent or anything like that, I got you covered as well. Yeah, what I'll speak to him. I'll speak to him. Okay. Yeah, I know everything. I know everything he needs. What's that now? Yeah, I'll call you later. Send me over the info. All right, take care. Bye. Good morning, everybody. So the call you were listening into, the reason why I actually left an open mic is because that was actually one of the people who I put into a lease option scenario out of Albany, Georgia, and I put them into a lease option scenario about a year ago. And I started them in the process and everything. So that was him calling me back and saying, I'm ready to close on this deal. So what I'm going to do now is just connect with his lender. Now, many of you will be wondering, like, I thought you were completely out of this deal. Once you signed it and you left everything up to them, right? Well, here's the deal. Why would I do that? Here's an opportunity now for me to not only provide a service and get great referrals out of this deal, right, that I can use ongoingly, but just as importantly, now I can connect with the lender and everybody else who's associated with this deal anywhere near that particular market, which is a really nice market, by the way, right? So it just gives me an opportunity now to expand my pool, and I can provide them with all the documentation. Because when you get ready, when your sellers, when your tenant buyers are getting ready to close on this deal, they more than likely will contact you, because the lender is going to want to use that money that they gave you. They're going to probably want some evidence to show that they've already put some money down, right? So all I need to do to provide that basically is to just go in and give them some of the banking information from the deposit. Plus, I'll provide them with the contracts and agreements that we initiated, so they know exactly what's going on. Now, I don't have to send him everything. That's why I asked him specifically for his lender's information so that I can speak with his lender, and his lender will tell me exactly, well, he'll think he's telling me, I'll actually be telling him, but he'll feel like he's telling me everything that I need to know. So what happens now is I have a lender relationship. If this goes well, I'm pretty sure I can, pull some more leads from this lender who probably has some people who didn't qualify, right? If they didn't qualify, straight up front, now their potential for me to put them back in there, he's already in the driver's seat. Look, we're going to set them up. We're going to put them on some credit repair stuff, and we're going to get them in position to where you're going to get a commission from these people, in the next 12 months or so. Is that something you feel like would benefit you or maybe not? Look at Nick, he's laughing. He loves the or maybe not close.
All day, dude, all day.
All day, right? All day. That's something we can do or maybe not. Would you like some extra money in your pocket or maybe not? Anyway, so hey, thank you guys all for showing up to our Wednesday call. I see we have some dignitaries in the house. Mark Richardson has joined us. Thanks, Mark. How you doing, buddy? You're muted just in case you're saying anything.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say. Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. Mr. Corey Wright, I see you in the house as well, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Yeah. You got any questions or anything, man, that we can help you with? Any challenges that you're experiencing right now that maybe we can because here's what I find is that if you're having a challenge, it's probably a challenge that other people in the group are having. So whenever we share them and kind of work through them, everybody sort of benefits from it. Okay. And it could be anything. Look, I'm not finding leads. I don't know who exactly to target. I don't know what kind of conversations. And I know that this is typically a role-playing scenario that we do on Wednesdays, but it's kind of morphed into, just sort of solving problems and structuring your business and helping you to find some opportunities for yourself.
Right. Only question I think that came to mind that I have here recently is I'm just starting, so I'm starting to send out the text blasts and stuff. But I came across some properties, and I had a quick question about it. Like some of these properties are like high dollar properties. Like I found a house that was like $880,000 that they were selling, and when I received a reply from my text blast, they were like, hey, let's talk. So I was thinking, like, is this price on this house, is this something too high or out of the range of a lease option, or is there even a limit or range to do lease options?
Okay, great question. So here's the deal. Right now, you are casting a net into the marketplace looking for, fish to fry, right?
Right.
Your strategy initially going in may be to do a lease option. It might not be your strategy coming out. So what you want to do is you want to have an interview with these people. You want to find out what their motivation is, what their timeline is, and most importantly, you want to start looking at the numbers. What's the ARV on this property, right? How much repair does it actually, is it going to take to bring it up to, and I always use this term, what would it take to bring your property up to 2021 standards?
Okay.
About how much money would it take, and where would I be spending it? Would I need to upgrade your kitchen? Would I need to add a bathroom? What would you do if you're trying to maximize this house and get them involved in the conversation?
Okay.
Right. So now they're kind of thinking about what would be necessary for them to maximize the value of this property, and let them tell you what those costs are.
Okay.
Right. So now you might end up in a situation where if this $850,000 property is actually worth $1 million with a little bit of work, the advantage that you have is that on high priced properties, you can put in a lot of money and still extract a lot of profit.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? That opportunity is not available at 200,000 or at 50,000 or at 15,000.
Okay.
right? So when you get up into those numbers now, you have a bigger window of opportunity actually.
Okay.
Because
So,
you can literally be at 90% on $1 million house and it's still $100,000 worth of profit available.
right.
You see what
Okay.
I'm saying? So it may
Okay.
not be a lease option opportunity because it's kind of difficult to do lease options at that price point. But
Right.
it's not out of the question. Why do I say it's not out of the question? Because there are probably lenders and real estate agents and people in that community that you will want to, do an outreach to, who have buyers who don't qualify not because they don't have the money. Many of them are cash rich like crazy, right?
Mhm.
But because they don't have enough records for their business. They haven't been in their business for 2 years. They haven't been able to meet the lender's criteria as far as just putting all the ducks in a row.
Right.
Right?
Got you.
But they got cash.
Yeah.
And they're willing to drop a nice little chunk and secure their position because they want a house right now.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And they're already, if you're reaching out to lenders, so one of the things you want to do is if you're in that market and you do this conversation and you start seeing that there's some room here for a possible deal, start reaching out to the people in those areas. You go on Facebook, you do a Google search, you do all the free stuff that you can possibly do. What system are you using right now to pull your leads? Are you on PropStream or anything else?
I do use the REI with the text match, but I also use PropStream as well.
Okay, so you get leads in PropStream.
Right.
Okay, so when you pull up the property and you do your analysis on PropStream, there's 2 places that you want to look, right? You want to look at flip comps. There is on PropStream, you see that little box that says flip comps? You want to look in there. That will give you information. The first thing you want to notice is if there are some. The more in that box, the more likely that you are going to be able to find somebody. That means there's activity in that area. That means people are fixing, they're flipping, they're doing deals.
Okay, so you're talking about like the filter, the flip box and the filter. Okay.
Yeah, the filter on PropStream where you see, fix and flip.
Okay.
Or flip comps, I should say flip comps.
Flip comp. So that would be like finding the cash buyers in that area.
That would be, that would be finding the cash buyers, being able to connect with people, and also being able to, on PropStream, you'll see it has pictures. A matter of fact, here, why don't I pull something up and give you an idea what I'm talking about? Would that be okay with you guys?
Yeah.
All right, let me pull up PropStream. Do you have a property that you looked at that maybe you want to, and you can just give me any old address.
Sure, let me see.
My PropStream is loading. I don't know what's taking it so long. I upgraded to the best internet I could find, and I'm still go through this every now and then. As soon as it comes open, I'll share my screen with you guys. So I just actually, I'm not just saying this stuff. I actually was able to find a deal, and, using the same process right here, that deal is now, in the hands of 2 cash buyers that are, both very interested in the deal. So this deal will probably end up closing. I didn't do anything more than what I'm going to show you right now. So let me share the screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So give me an address.
Hold on, I'm trying to get it.
Okay.
Do you want an actual address that I was looking at, or just?
Yeah, if you want, we can comp out your property and see what it's worth if you want to.
Okay, let me see. Let me find this.
Okay, so if you're looking at my screen, while you look for your address, I just pulled up an address here local to me, right? So
Okay.
so there's my map. Um, here's some of the information what we have. Then I go to details and I go to comparables and nearby listings, right? So the number that I really like to see a little bit more attractive would be the flip comps. But here I have one flip comp right here, right? So here's the advantage of the flip comp, right? When I pull it up, it'll, bear with me. Let me shut this down. Usually when you have a flip comp, you'll have these photos and it'll give you information that you can use to see what flips look like and what kind of upgrades were done in that area. So it gives you a kind of sense of, what's going on in the area as far as comps go. So this is one that was recently done here in my part of the world. And you can see they did a hell of a job on this thing. Right? So this is something I would say, look, here, let me give you an idea, especially if I can get my seller on a Zoom call, let me give you an idea of what upgraded properties or 2021 level properties look like in your area. Does your property currently look like this? And if not, and it's not really about to, dog their property out, but if not, what would it take for us to get this property in something around this type of condition?
Okay.
Right. So now, so when you get them on the phone, you can actually show them some pictures of what it looks like to have a fully rehabbed property in their area.
Okay.
Right. So now they have a visual, and you're gonna go ahead and comp it out. You see right here we have comps on this property. We have 20 comps. We can sort these out. These are all public record comps. I could look at MLS or I could look at both, but public records is always where I start. And, just kind of look and see if you have, some of the same similar characteristics, right? And sort out your comps that way. Figure out which one is best. In this case, we have our subject property lot size is 10,000 and our size is 1792. So we can do our square footage by clicking on it. It'll actually sort the square footage for you, right? So it'll put it in order. And if you click it again, it'll put the square footage highest to lowest. So if that's your criteria, you can just go down here and you can start looking and see, okay, what's my nearest thing to 1792? That's going to be my first comp. So these two, one is a little bit less and one is a little bit more. So I'm looking at 293 on a sales price, and I'm looking at 301 on the sales price. If I wanted to say, I'll jump right in the middle of that and know that I can be pretty comfortable at 295.
Okay.
Okay. That's really all of the, until you start pulling your comparable, that'll give you at least a sense of what kind of pricing you're looking at for something like this, right? So now you have your ARV.
Okay.
And if you take your percentage of that ARV, you know what your top price is, right? So let's say we took 70% of this ARV right here. Where's my handy dandy calculator? So let's say we decided that, we're comfortable at 295,000. Okay. And we're going to go 70% on the ARV. Okay. So we're at 2065. Right.
Okay.
So that between you and the seller, you've determined that, okay, it's going to take me about 30,000 to get this property to the level that I need it to be. Right. So you minus 30,000. So now you're at 176.5, right? And this is this particular property, right? And now I want to make $10,000 on this deal, right?
Right.
Now, if I want to make 10,000, I'm going to put 15, right? Because I need some wiggle room. I don't want to make 10,000 and end up at 5. I want to start off at 15 and end up at 10.
Okay.
Right? So if I minus another 15,000, I'm at 161.5. That is my highest acceptable offer. So I need to go in and negotiate however I can, doing whatever I need to do to get that price around 161.5. I do know that I have about a $5,000 cushion because I gave myself 15,000 as opposed to 10, right?
Right.
So I could actually go 166.5.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you? What I just put down?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's what you're looking at now. As far as the leads go from here, I always believe that if you find an area where you do a deal,
Mm-hmm.
and this kind of comes, I guess, from my real estate background or real estate training as a agent. Whenever you sell a deal, you farm the hell out the surrounding areas. As a real estate agent, the reason is that you want as many of your signs out there as you possibly can. Right? So you sell a property, you have your sign on it, right?
Right.
If you put 2 more signs in that neighborhood, guess what? You're the neighborhood expert.
Mm.
And it works for even wholesale signs. If people see your name on more than 1 or 2 properties in any particular area, now you're the hot guy to see.
Right. Okay.
Right? Free marketing. That's about as good as it gets when it comes to just, free marketing, because you've been there, right? We've all been there, where we drive a neighborhood and we keep seeing we see 2 or 3 or 4 signs with the same person on there. What is your first thought?
God, they're good.
They must know what they're doing, right? Yeah, they must know what they're doing. They must know this area. They must be the person to talk to, right? It's an unconscious credibility that you give this person because they've shown up in the right places so many times. So you kind of want to keep doing the same thing. Now, let's see, where else did I want to go with that? Did you have any questions as far as that's concerned?
No, I did actually find a property that I
Okay.
guess
You want to take a look at it?
let's see. I think this is, I want to make sure that this is it. I don't know how to share my screen yet. Let's see.
You don't have to share. You can just give me the address if you want.
Okay. I think it's 3502 East 104th Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 74137.
104th Street.
Hmm.
I got my guy Rick on here. He's an expert on PropStream. So if I can't bring it up, I'm sure he can tell me how. 104th Street in what city?
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
There it is. 74137.
Yes.
Boom. It looks like we got comps.
Mm.
Okay, so there's your subject. Looks like it's in a cul-de-sac. Oh, that's the 8. That must be the 850 property, huh?
Well, this one was close to one of them. This one was like 800, 795 or something.
795. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that's the property there. Let's go to the details page. Now, PropStream has a value of 286.24.
Mm.
That seems a little bit low, yeah?
Mm.
What else have you seen in that area?
I haven't. I just looked at it on Zillow.
Okay.
Because from the scraping, and I got a reply. So I hit the little Zillow link just to see, and I was like, wow, they're asking $795 for it. So I haven't even researched it on PropStream yet.
Okay, so here's our prop stream. Let's see, our subject property is, what is our square footage?
The 28.
Our square footage is 2650, and our lot size is 32,000. Wow, that's a big ass lot. Okay, so let's see what the area looks like. And how many bedrooms and baths we looking at? Do you know how many bedrooms are in it? It says 4 baths. I'm gonna assume at least 6 bedrooms, right?
Yeah, I think it's let me make sure. It says 4 bedroom, 4 baths.
Oh, 4 bedroom, 4 baths.
And you know what? The square footage on their listing says 4,253 square foot.
That doesn't seem right.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't seem right.
Yeah,
4,000 square foot lot is a city lot.
Yeah,
that's a relatively small lot. I think that's a typo.
Okay.
I'm looking at the pictures and the satellite shot, and their lot is way bigger than 4,000 square feet.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's probably a typo. Now, in looking at some of the other lots in the area, this one says 32,000. There's some other lots, looks like 16,000, 19,000 are the highest numbers we can get to as far as that's concerned. Let's look at some of the other stuff. Our square footage is 2650. Let's see what we can find. Let's do our
yeah, for some reason on Zillow, that square footage is showing the 4,200.
4,200?
Yeah, on Zillow though. That's Zillow.
But that's fine, because usually whenever that happens, the question that you want to ask is if they did any improvements or changed the property in any way.
Okay.
And if they did, what would be your next question?
I guess, did you add square footage to the home?
And I said yes. What would be your next question?
Okay. About how long ago was that?
Okay, that's a question, but there's a question that you need to ask that's gonna be super strong. Did you pull permits?
Oh, did you pull permits to do it? So if they had to pull permits, what does that mean?
If they did not pull permits, it could potentially not even be able to be included in the square footage of the property. In fact, they may not even be able to sell it depending on their area. They might even be required to tear it down before they can sell this property. Or you're going to have to sell it under some sort of other conditions where the person who is purchasing it assumes the risk.
Okay. Because
right?
they didn't pull permits
because they didn't pull permits, so they have now an illegal property size. I'm so glad this came up like an option, right? Because you're seeing all of this information, and this information does not match either other websites that you looked at to try to comp it out, or it's different than what the seller told you it would be. Right? If so, you want to make sure that you have this conversation. And here's the part that I like to do. This is really what this call is about role playing. Right? So you and I can role play this conversation. Now do you want to be the buyer or the seller?
I'll be the seller.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, I want to learn from you.
Like, okay. You're like, yo, you tell me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Wright, this is Victor Walker. I was calling you back on the property we talked about at on 104th Street. Do you have a minute right now?
Oh, sure. I got a minute.
Okay, good. I'll try to make this quick. I know you're a busy person, so am I. But look, I ran into a couple of situations on the property. I'm looking at one thing that says that your square footage is 2650, but then I'm looking other places, in my research, and it's saying that the square footage is different. Did you happen to add square footage to the house?
We did. We actually did. It was a
Okay.
few years back.
Yeah. What kind of square footage did you add? What kind of room did you add? Bathroom, living space, bedroom?
Yeah, we added a kind of like a mother-in-law bedroom
Oh,
with,
okay,
a
okay.
bathroom and things of that nature. So yeah, we did. I can't remember if we had to have the permit people come out on it or what. I would have
Oh,
to
yeah,
check.
and that was actually going to be my next question, Mr. Wright, was
Mhm.
whether or not you pulled permits, because oftentimes what I see is when there's a difference in between a couple of different sources that I have access to. When
Uh-huh.
there's a difference, that usually means that something was done and it wasn't permitted, which could present a problem to us.
Mm.
But I just want to make sure that I have all the right information.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I probably would have to check back on that to make sure. That was a while ago, and I think
Okay.
we may have the paperwork, but I wouldn't understand if it didn't update, then we must have didn't pull those permits.
Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. You figure, these people, they get their information from sources, and the term, giga,
Yeah.
garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
So they didn't have the right information. So, and that's why I'm counting on you to, be able to tell me some stuff. Worst case scenario, we do have an option of pulling the information from the actual city or county, if in
Oh,
fact
okay.
that's the case, right?
That's what
So
I
it's
was
not it's
thinking.
not the end of the world.
Right. Okay. Because I was like, wow, man, I can't even remember. I was to get with my wife to see where she would put that stuff at. But other than that, yeah, if we can't find it, we can get like a copy from the city, right? The county.
Yeah, we can get copies. If
Okay.
it's permitted, then there's copies available. And if they are, then you could just go down there and order the copies. They'll probably charge you a couple of bucks, but it's nothing major.
Now let me ask you though, if there's some reason we didn't get permits, what actually are we gonna have to go through then?
See, that's where the problem comes in, because legally we can't sell the property based on the improvements that you made if they're not legal. We literally have to, in many cases unfortunately we've actually had to tear down the improvements in order to sell the property.
Are you serious? I
I
mean,
don't know if that's necessarily the case with you.
right.
I don't know. The other way is to, maybe do it in a, private funding kind of scenario. The
Mhm.
problem is that if we go through conventional financing on this, we probably won't be able to get it done,
Okay. All
right?
right. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So with that in mind, would you be willing to be the bank on the property? Because now we have a situation. We could solve it, but it's gonna require some participation on your part. Is that something we can do, or maybe not?
That's something that we can do if this problem persists, like, if I can't get the paperwork or I find out like, yeah, we didn't do the permits, then yeah, that's something that I may consider.
Okay, cool. Let me ask you another question. How much cash? You told me earlier that you were moving out of the area and you were going to, do some other things. And I was operating under the impression that you needed all of the cash from this transaction in order to be able to do what you needed to do. But
Right.
that may not necessarily be the case. So if you were to give me a number of what it took for you to accomplish your next move, what number would that be?
That I'm not sure. Haven't really put that in a number, but what it is we've had this house for a while,
Okay.
and it's a nice house. It's still very livable as is, so it's nothing that it needs a lot of work to. So
Right.
I'm really kind of looking to get, full price for this house.
I understand getting the full. I understand getting the full price, and that makes all the sense in the world. But you do understand that we've just kind of run into a hurdle that could be significant in terms of affecting how much you can get long term for this property.
Right.
There's gonna be some things we don't know the answer to that yet. So what I'm trying to do is preempt that conversation with you.
I got you. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna save that emotional choice when we cross that bridge. Until then, I want to get down to the bottom of if I got my paperwork right. Because if not, then yeah, we may have to discuss something like that. But
I appreciate that, and I really appreciate the fact that you're actually open to have this conversation. I tried to have this conversation with another person, and they just basically flew off the handle and everything. And last I heard, that property still hasn't sold and everything. And so I'm here to provide solutions for you. So I really appreciate the fact that you're open and willing and everything. And my job is to basically put something together that solves your problem and allows you to move on with the rest of your life. And I'm committed to doing that. So why don't you do your homework, and I'll follow up with you. What's a good time? Tomorrow, between 3 and 5 is best for me. Does that work for you?
I tell you what, give me about a full day.
Okay.
Why don't you give me a holler about the day after tomorrow? Let me do some research myself and see if I misplaced this paperwork, if I haven't, lost it or something. Yeah, give me in a couple of days. Give me a buzz.
That sounds perfect. I'll follow up with you. It would be okay for me to send you a text message first. Kind of pull your coattail, check your availability, and then we'll do a schedule.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. All right. And I don't have to worry about you not showing up for our appointment, right? You're not going to ghost me, right?
Oh, no.
All right. You don't seem like that type. You look like you look like a man of your word.
Yeah, appreciate that.
All right. Yeah, for sure. So we'll talk in a couple of days, and let me know if you need anything. Okay. Just reach out.
All right. Appreciate
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wright.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. By the way, Mr. Wright, you have the best name I've ever heard for marketing.
Hey, appreciate it.
You got the right stuff. I loved what you guys just talked and everything. The only slight modification, I might make one slight modification there.
Tell me about it.
I might just say, Mr. Walker, could you do me a personal favor? I'm going to do a lot of research. I'm going to put this together. I'm going to spend hours and hours. Could we have a hard appointment tomorrow at 3:30 on Zoom? And it's okay to say no to me. Don't worry about it. Let's do what's right for you. But let's have a hard appointment tomorrow at 3:30, and you can say yes or no. If you say no, don't worry. We're still friends. Would that be all right, sir? Could you do me that small favor, please?
Okay. So we went to the appointment conversation, but he needed a little bit of time in order to find his paperwork. I need to find out if, in fact, this property has permits.
Victor, are you turning into a nice guy when I wasn't looking?
No, but I'm saying I need that information. So you're obviously going in a different direction. I need to know if there are permits on this property.
Right.
And you're trying to push him to do it faster. Is that what we're doing?
I'm trying to get a specific time and date, a hard appointment, because what happens what did Corey, can I call you Corey, Mr. Wright?
Yes, sir.
I'm
yes,
Claude.
Sir.
If you guys heard, he said 2 or 3 times the thing that all prospects say all the time, those ambiguous, hey, this is great. We're on a honeymoon. Thank you. Love the conversation. Give me a call. Give me a couple days to do my research. Let's talk sometime later in the week. Everything is, man, what really happened? And you did the ghosting thing, but what happens when we leave it ambiguous?
Yeah, it gives them an out. It gives them a way to slide up out of this or make an excuse not to show up.
Yeah, if I told them, listen, you and your special lady can go out. I'm going to pay for a steak dinner tonight at 7:30 with all the trimmings, bottle of wine, and you're my guest tonight at 7:30. Is he going to say, well, give me a couple days to think about it. I'll get back to you. I got to do some research on what cut of steak I want and everything. Or is he going to say, sure, let's do this?
Yeah. Okay. So
you're a nice guy. I didn't know that about you. You're a real nice guy, aren't you?
No, I'm not. It's not so much a nice guy. But you know, there is obviously a point at which you want to take control of the scenario, like that. But if I talk to this guy tomorrow, now, real life scenario, right?
Can we go off the screen share for 1 second? I want to see your handsome face.
Oh, you can't see me?
I see the screen.
What?
Oh, there you are. Look at me. I need a haircut.
You say that every time. Your hair grows faster than anybody I've ever seen.
It's a side effect of that virus, man. That vaccine, man. I just got a haircut 2 days ago. It just grows right
just
back.
2 days ago. That's what it seems like, because it seemed like just a minute ago you were all coiffed up, and now here you are again with the 1970s.
My Claudia's listening. Did you hear him? He said, I'm coiffed up. I'm going to steal that from you.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I get where you're going with this. I know for me, I'm thinking I need this information. Now, in your thoughts, though, you're trying to push him to get this information faster.
Yes.
And get it right now?
Yes.
Okay, so that's where I could have probably gotten this a little bit tighter and say, look, you don't have 2 days to do this.
You're on that honeymoon.
Like
You're on that honeymoon right now. You know, it's that magic moment. He likes you, you like him. You got that what's the word? A rapport. Right now going for you. You know?
Right. Yeah.
You worked so hard and you did it so magnificently. It was beautiful. But then when I heard that one little maybe, probably, give me a couple days, it sends shivers down my spine. Why?
Right. Yeah, I see where you're going with that. That's when I had an opportunity to regain control and hammer down, like, look, no, you don't have time to go do all that. Not necessarily a direct, confrontational type of scenario, but look, we need to get this moving. You need to handle what you need to do. You need to make your call in the morning, and all of it is implied because we have an appointment at 3.
We can also use the secret superpower from Mr. Cialdini called reciprocity. We talked about that on Monday. How many of you guys heard my Monday call where we talked about
I listened to the recording.
Oh, I thought it was one of my better targeted discussions. It's at the very end.
Yeah.
The last 20 minutes.
I'm gonna go back because I didn't make it to the end.
Yeah. Hey, Brian is here in the building. How you doing, buddy? Brian's my new guy.
Hey, Brian. Welcome to the call, my friend.
Hey, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Hope you get something out of it. And once Claude stops talking, if he stops talking, we can let you in and you can ask some questions.
Once Claude stops talking. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Victor, he never stops talking.
He never stops talking. Claudia, how are you, sweetie?
I mean, Lou can tell you that. For goodness sake.
He always shows up for my calls. I wonder what that's about.
You're making me laugh here.
It's so great to see you.
Reciprocity is when you're putting on your thespian cap.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, oh, it's great. I enjoy a little stroking, a little nurturing. You say, you know what? I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to do some research. I'm going to put some paperwork together. I'm going to do ABC for you. I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed this conversation. You're obviously a person I like doing business with. Could you do me, Mr. Did you change your name to Justin Chamness or Victor? Or it used to be Victor Walker, by the way.
Yep, I changed it to Justin.
Oh, okay. It's not the worst name. Mr. Walker, could you do me one small favor? Because we're both on the same mindset here and we don't want to let time disappear and reschedule. Could we just set a hard appointment for today is Wednesday. How about Friday, 10 o'clock, your time zone? We'll be on Zoom here. Well, and let's see if we can consummate this deal, or if you change your mind or it's not right, just tell me, Claude, get lost. No harm, no foul. We're still friends. Could you do that for me, please, sir?
Okay.
Who's going to say off the role play? Who's going to say no to that?
Right. Yeah. You've taken advantage of that bond that you just developed, and you've created an urgency to produce something within a particular timeline that is implied that is going to be to his benefit.
Yeah. And it's to your benefit too. Now you
it is that, but we really want him to feel that it's to his, right? Like that's really, we already know it's to ours because we set it up.
the trouble is we don't want to ruffle. We're so nice. You're a nice guy. I'm a nice guy, but that doesn't mean we can't be astute business people and get it's a hard word to say next. Specificity. I think I got it right. In business, and say, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. We're going to meet and everything. And it's amazing to me how many times during the honeymoon period, I'll say, oh, this is great. Listen, let's talk later in the week. I'm going to get this stuff together, just like Corey did in that role play.
Yeah.
Corey did it. Same thing.
Okay. Yeah. That makes absolute sense. Did you want to make a comment, Corey?
No, I learned a lot just going through the role play, and then also listening to Claude's advice on how to wrap it up and keep that rapport. That makes a lot of sense. I understand. Like, I kind of, as a seller, I was kind of, like he said, I was kind of giving you the stiff form a little bit to like, okay, give me time, bro. I know you kind of pressure me. I see your full court press. But Claude is like, yeah, continue to press, but do it in a kind of persuasive way, but control the scenario to where it's not giving me time to back up off the deal and, skirt out of there without, talking to you no more.
Right. Right. Yeah. So his technique is obviously tried and true, and he makes a living off of teaching this particular technique. And so the direction that I went in was, like he said, where I wanted to lock you down for the follow-up, right?
Right.
In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I need this information. And I need you to do whatever. And I kind of was also thinking, I know how long this normally takes.
Right.
In terms of being able to gather up the information. 2 days was not unreasonable in terms of getting the information that I needed to get from you. I don't necessarily, and Claude, you can jump in here as well. I don't necessarily want to call you tomorrow because it very unlikely it's a good chance that you're not going to have what I'm looking for tomorrow.
Now, is there a way, like in that conversation, where you could have came to me and said, well, I'll tell you what, let me search for that for you. Let me check into that as well on my end. And if I find something before you, I'll give you a holler. Like, could you have checked the county records without me?
You can, but I wouldn't put that work on myself.
Okay, I got you.
I mean, if that, and that's just me. That's a personal choice. If you want to, you can make that call yourself and say, but I know for me, I'm too busy. I have too many other things. But if this deal is strong enough, yes, I would look to see if I could do it myself. I don't know how much information I'm going to be able to get because I'm not the homeowner.
Right.
But it's something that I'd be willing to make a call on, especially, if there's $100,000 in profit. That just qualified.
Gotcha.
How much scarcity could you put into that scenario, that role play right now? Hey, Mr. Wright, on a 1 through 10, 10 meaning this is urgent, to get this deal done, to get money in your pocket, to get rid of the house, whatever. On a 1 through 10, where do you, 10 meaning it's urgent, 1 meaning we got all the time in the world, there's no rush. Where do you see yourself, sir?
Probably about a 7, 8-ish.
Okay, that's so it sounds like it's pretty important to you.
Right.
I'll tell you what, why don't you do your due diligence? I'll work on my end. And if we can get the answers, everything, the information you're looking at, so that we know the square footage, how many bidets are in there, the proper pricing on the property. If we can do that to your personal satisfaction when we meet tomorrow at 10 o'clock, where would we go from there tomorrow, sir?
Well, let's talk about it then. Let's get that paperwork together, and I can do that. I can meet with you tomorrow at 10.
Oh, I'd love to meet with you. But if we get the information to your personal satisfaction, would you be comfortable making a commitment and moving forward tomorrow when we speak? Or
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes,
What?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
What just happened? What just happened?
You just shifted it. Yeah. Took back control.
I got an appointment and I got a commitment.
Yeah.
And I also did something called taking his temperature. Okay. You want a visual here? I've got the thermometer. You're 6 years old and mom is putting it in the the place. Okay.
Yeah, that's not the visual I was looking for, but okay. I'm gonna go with another visual, but I get where you're going with this.
Yeah, but you remember this visual, don't
Right.
you? How important, how important is it to put those visuals, even if they're maybe uncomfortable?
Yeah, but it's now there, right? It's now planted.
We're having too much fun. We're having too much fun here. We got to stop this. This is serious stuff, man.
Yeah, but okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that because you're right. What we can do is just continuously look to, gain and maintain control. Right. That's basically our job. And like I said, though, as far as the reaching out, that would kind of depend on my schedule and how many other things I have, going on and things like that. So I would make that fit my criteria in that sense. But yeah, you definitely want to get, the commitment. You want to hammer it shut. You want to make sure that, and the reciprocity thing is huge, right? It's natural for people to want to reciprocate when they have a benefit given to them.
What's the worst that could happen if you don't have the information? You still have the appointment. And how do you develop that synchronicity, that connection with that human being where, hey, you know what? I did research and you did, we still don't have the information, but we're a little closer here. What happens when you keep speaking to somebody and you have those good, maybe short conversations, maybe on Zoom, and it's on a consistent level? Are you getting closer? What's the good thing that happens?
You tied the relationship together.
Mm-hmm.
How important is that? How important? We've forgotten that we're speaking to human beings here. We can text and email and send postcards and we can do all that stuff forever. But how important is it for Corey to, when he gets off the phone, he says, man, I like that Walker guy. That Walker guy is okay.
Yeah.
He's good. He's the right guy for me to do business with. How important is it for relationships like this developing?
Absolutely. At the beginning of the call, I actually received a call to speak on that particular point. And the person who called me was someone who I did a lease option agreement with a year ago, about a year ago, right? And so now they're ready to consummate and close the deal on their lease purchase. Right. So he called me back because I'm going to need to, just send it a couple of pieces of document to his lender. And the relationship is what we created. Now, the relationship will allow me to not only to help him create a great referral from him and from the original seller of the property with whom I also have great rapport, but also now I can plug into all of the other resources that are being used, including especially the mortgage lender that he's gone to, because now I go to that mortgage lender, I have some credibility, he knows that I know what I'm talking about, and he lets me into his Rolodex.
Exactly. Victor, I have to go. Gentlemen, you got a great man over here. Give him a thumbs up here. This guy, I'm pointing the right. This guy is so great for doing the role play. And I'm sorry to interrupt, but I heard that and I had to jump in.
And I know, and all the hair on the back of your neck stood up, and you're like, "Oh no, I can't help myself. I
was ready to get these out.
Get away from me with that boo-hoo."
I'll see you guys.
See you later, bud. All right, that was good stuff, man. That's the guy who developed the whole, guts thing. So, did you guys get anything out of that? Is there any questions that we can answer? Anything that came up? Any marketing things that you guys are dealing with that we might be able to talk about? Anything? Y'all stop being quiet. I know y'all got some stuff going on over there. What's going on in your marketplace?
Hey, Victor. So, hey, I made a call.
Who's that? Is that my man Lou Quinol?
It's me.
What's up, buddy? How you doing? I love you on that beach, man.
Yeah, Hawaii.
So what's going on?
So hey, I made something I just picked up. I was making phone calls out in Arizona, and I came across a guy that wasn't too motivated, right? But I was still going, and I realized that, okay, hey, it's an opportunity for me to just gather information, right? And see
Yeah.
So So when I talked to Claude about this later, he told me to give this realtor a call out in Arizona. So I did, and it didn't fit in his qualification.
Okay.
His
Okay.
qualification was it has to be a 10 plus, or he doesn't do it. Does it make sense?
A 10 plus? What do you mean 10 plus?
He has to be highly, highly, highly motivated in order
on the motivational scale.
Yeah, to even do the business, to do the deal,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So I think a lot of us are, when we're going through qualification and you qualify the guy, he doesn't sound, he's maybe like a 7, 8, and you're still going through it and trying to convince him to, I'm trying to close the deal on a 7 and 8. I think that a lot of that we need to really dig into as far as his qualification. And I mean, as far as his motivation is. I mean, what do you want? Do you want a 10 or do you want to deal with a 7 and 8? Does that meet your qualifications? I mean, you know, I think that's something that I realized today. I think maybe we shouldn't be spending too much time on something on a guy whose his motivation level is low. Right.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that we talk about the most. Give me 1 second. I want to show you something. And you guys have seen this thing a million times, but I'm gonna share it with you for 1,000,001. Let me find my chart. Okay. Okay, so you guys remember this, right? Do you see the chart, mastering the phone? Okay, so this is what Lou is talking about. Everything that we do in terms of this conversation, even the conversation that Corey and I had and that Claude jumped in on, right? The whole idea of this is to find out or to move somebody up towards this 10 scale. This is what Lou's talking about. All deals, and you know, I don't know if I completely agree that you have to be a 10 and a half, but ideally that's what you're looking for a 10 and a half, right? But there also has to be a level of a skill set that you incorporate into your presentation, your knowledge of the marketplace, your, you know, grasp of the guts method or whatever sales method you're using, such that you can move somebody from an 8 to a 10. So you're going to, and how do you do that, right? Any idea, Lou?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You just keep asking questions. And
questions. Boom. Right. Nail right on the head. Right. That one is hammered. That's exactly how you move somebody to there, because at some point you're going to gather enough ammo to where you can corner them, you know, in a positive way. You can corner them and really sort of highlight not just their problem, but your solution, right? That's the conversation. That's where the conversation needs to get you at some point. And it needs to get there really even before all of the stuff having to do with the house and everything. Like you'll realize that if you get to a 10, a lot of the conversations having to do with the house and a lot of that other stuff, they're easy now. They're easy now because all they want to do is get the hell out, solve their problem, get their money, and be done with it. Right? So that's the whole point of the role play, the whole point of the practice, the whole point of, you know, doing it over and over again, the whole point of having, you know, Claude jump in every chance he gets and you know, and teach us, you know, his method, because it's just you forget. And I know, like for me, I get comfortable, right? Because I start having success. You know, I'm pretty good on the phone and I have success on the phone. But what happens is sometimes you drop out some basics. You know what I mean? Like you know, if you've ever played sports, right? You play sports, you get good at some, all of a sudden you just stop working on that thing because you think you got it down. When really what you should be doing is doubling down on that skill set. right? So that was a little reminder for me, but it's right up at 11 o'clock, you guys. Looks like we lost a couple of people, but hey, I really appreciate you guys showing up today. If there's any last questions or anything, I just want to say again, thank you, you guys, for the questions that you did ask and the input that you had for this particular training. Corey Wright, I really appreciate you, bro, and bringing everything and sharing your experience. Really helps the whole group. Great having you on.
Victor. Hi, Victor. This is my name is Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. How are you? It's a pleasure having you in the house.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been great watching you do a wonderful job this afternoon. I'm on the East Coast.
Okay, thank you.
What you just showed there in terms of the scale, where would I find that in the VIP section? Is there?
Are you talking about the chart I just shared?
Yeah, chart that you just shared.
Okay, hold on one second. I actually have it in a folder, and I'll put the link. I'll put the link in here. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
There's a few other things in there, and sometimes what I'll do is if we're doing particular type of videos or particular type of trainings, I'll put them in this folder in my drive. So let me just go there and get a link for you guys. There it is.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, hold on 1 second for you. Thank you so much for joining us and asking a great question, reminding me to share this with everybody. All right, you guys. I am going to put that link in the chat, and we have a bunch of really there's a few things in there that might be valuable to you, including some of Claude's mind maps and things of that nature. Where's my chat? Boom. There you go. So if you guys want to click on that before we log off, just go there. There's a bunch of stuff in there, including the chart that Dr. Michelle was asking about, and some videos, some of Claude's mind maps, and some things of that nature. Let me know if somebody can try it right now and make sure that they can get in for me. All good?
I got it.
All right, perfect, you guys. Hey, you guys have an amazing rest of the week. Thank you so much for showing up and showing out. Alan, Brian, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you, man.
See you, sir. Thanks for doing.
Yeah, for sure. Let me just do a quick roll call. Jason, Corey, Alan, a friend of mine, Nehemia, came in as a guest today. He's actually going to be, working with me, looking for some properties in my area. Aaron, Chuck, Dr. Michelle. I don't know how to say this name, Gobolahan. I'm not sure how to say it, but thank you anyway for coming. Jeremiah, Lou Quinal, obviously, Muhammad, my man Rick, and Wei Lin is in the house as usual. Thank you guys. Hey, have a fantastic week. Appreciate everything you do. And if you have any questions, any way we can help, we're always in the VIP room at Real Estate Wholesalers Club with Mr. Justin Chamness, who is, if you guys don't know, you probably all already know, but, dude is a monster. Go into his stuff. He gives you a bunch of free stuff. It's the best training you're going to get on the internet right now. All right? See you guys later. Have a great rest of the week.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.